Josh Tonks, Drade Straffer, the skipper, and loose forward Liam McKay. The interchange forwards will be Daniel Halmshaw, Daly Williams, Michael Haley and Jack Coventry. There is no Nathan Chappell, Matt Nicholson, Josh Jordan Roberts or Ryan Wright. So Gary Thornton's side doing it tough this afternoon in round 17 for the Bradford Bulls then. Greg McNally returns after a 5-game absence, and he's joined with Dalton Grant, Ashley Gibson, Ross Oakes and Ethan Ryan, the half-back pairing, Joe Keys and Dane Chisholm. The front row forwards will be Steve Crossley, Sam Hallis and Callum Bustin. The back row forwards, Matt Garside, James Laithwaite and Elliot Minchella, a loose forward. And on the interchange bench this afternoon, it's going to be Brandon Pickersgill, debutant James Green, who signed earlier on this week in a play-alone deal involving Rhys Butterworth going to Castleford. George Flanagan also returning back from his broken hand. He's on the bench against his former employees. And Ross Peltier, the referee, is Michael Smale. So Bradford have first use of the ball, and they're going to move it just down this right-hand edge. It'll be Hallison at dummy half, to Keys, to Bustin. If you missed the news, signed a permanent deal, joining Bradford from Castleford on Thursday afternoon. What a huge asset Callum Bustin has been. Here goes Dane Chisholm probing, finds Laithwaite in the mid-centre of the field. Laithwaite back to Chisholm, Chisholm to Gibson. Gibson's come up with a pass there to Dalton, and Dalton's going to be brought down. 35 out from the Hunslet line on the 5th and last tackle. Keys takes aim. He's going to send it over on the far stand side towards Foggin Johnston. Foggin Johnson takes it there with the sun in his eyes, but it's immediately wrapped up there by Laithwaite and Hallis. It's Bulls Live proper sport, and we've had 75 seconds gone here at the South Leeds Stadium, and it is, of course, Betfred League One round 17. 10 games to go. Good intensity to this one early doors, Vila.
Yeah, good set there from Bradford. Full 100-metre set, pinning them down in there, 10 metres there, and they're coming out now. I just think Hunslet look a bit tired already. There's only been one set, and they've got a few walkers walking back after that defensive set, so should be interesting when this gets about 20 minutes in. Yeah, let's see how we go.
Kate Sutherwood then, a bullet pass into the arms of Lewis Reid. Reid's going to get to his feet, play the ball, 5 shy of the halfway line. Here goes Joe Sanderson, one of the Hunslet danger men. Keeps the ball going to Straffer. Straffer kicks forward. Dane Chisholm, he's made a miss of it. He's going to be picked up on the far side by Madudu. Madudu floats it back in field, but he's got a foot in touch. And that was the last tackle. It'll be the power play. The Bulls will have possession just inside their own 20-metre line, and it will be a play the ball. 0-0 on the score, early doors here. 2.5 minutes gone on Bulls Live and Proper Sport, and Greg McNally will get his first taste of the ball, and he'll play the ball 15 out from his own try line. Hallison at dummy half. Here goes Ross Hawkes, a superb, miraculous defensive display last time out as Bradford just kept Newcastle Thunder to 4 points in a tight defensive game at Odsal Stadium. 24-4, John Keir's side won. Here goes Minchella to Hallis. Hallis through a gap. He's got McNally on the inside. McNally's away underneath the sticks. Welcome back to the Bradford Bulls. Greg McNally. The try is given. No, says the referee. We're going back for a forward pass. And I think if we're good Catholic boys, Vila, it was a forward pass.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, that was superb work by Sam. They fell short on that short side, then he's gone straight through, but they're definitely forward. They're definitely forward, but he's done brilliant with that there. Good scanning.
And John, we've just seen what Hallis can do. Great little read out of dummy half, and I think if we're being brutally honest, the pass did go a couple of metres forward.
Easy. To be honest though, Greg had overrun because he hadn't let the pass go early enough. If he'd let the pass go, Greg would have walked it anyway, but if that was the other way, we'd be complaining. The referee's got that right, so if he's going to do that all afternoon, I've got no complaints.
Well, we were looking towards the touch judge on this main stand side, and he was happy. He was closest to the action, but it was the touch judge on the far stand side who stood his ground, and he told referee Michael Smale that the pass went forward. So here come Hunslet from that first Bradford error of the afternoon, and it's the big man Josh Tonks A lot of West Yorkshire pedigree inside him, and he's going to be brought down 30 metres out from the Bradford line, centre of the field. Jack Lee in at dummy half along the line. He'll go to Straffer. Straffer's going to be brought down in a three-man tackle. Garside in there. So too Hallis and Minchella doing a lot of work in that defensive line early doors. Sanderson on the last tackle, 20 metres out, looking for Madudu. Madudu brings up McNally, and McNally, great take. And it still remains scoreless here at the South Leeds Stadium, just approaching 5 minutes gone, although Bradford have come up with an error there. The referee's going to say first knock on. Was it pulled out by a Hunslet arm? He's talking to Greg McNally. He's going to say, no, you've got to protect the ball. Head and feet to Hunslet. So costly error here, John Keys. The Bulls have put themselves under pressure.
Yeah, interesting. We're only a few minutes in. Both sides are appealing for everything that's going on here. Unfortunately there, Bradford has spoiled the ball, and the consequence is there's a scrum. There's no good arguing because the guy's not going to change his mind. But also, Hunslet putting their hands up for a high tackle when it's gone across the chest. You know, just focus on what they're doing, both teams.
Sanderson out of the scrum to Watson. Watson out wide. Hunslet are going to open the score in here through Gavin Duffy. And the shock could be on. 5th against 1st in the table. 8 points the difference. But Gary Thornton's side has struck blood first. And they lead by 4 points to 0. A move from the base of the scrum. Watson sucking in Gibson and Grant. And Duffy crossing out wide. Vila Halafihi.
Yeah, that error proved costly there. Watson coming out of the back there really enticed that winger, and they've got into the corner. I just think it really shows the importance of this game for both teams here. If Bradford win, it's another win on their streak, and Hunslet obviously wanting to secure that top 5. So, yeah, very important try for Hunslet there.
I think it's worth mentioning of note that even though Hunslet suffered a 28-18 defeat against Leon Price's Workington Townside last weekend, you are currently looking at the 2 form sides in Betfred League One. Bradford, of course, on the 11-game streak, and Hunslet, they've won 9 of their last 10 games. So, as we said, a massive game this afternoon, and Hunslet know 5th place in the table. If they can narrow the gap against the league leaders, Bradford, to just 6 points, with Gary Thornton knowing that James Ford's York City Knights are the visitors to Odsal next Sunday. Everything to play for Vila. 10 games to go. It's exciting.
Yeah, definitely. I think, like I just said, the importance of this game is really showing with every like the knock on there. Everyone's there pleading for the case. The forward pass from Sam Alice. You know, both teams are in there straight away trying to plead the case. The importance of this game is massive for both teams. Like I said, Bradford 11 winning streak now, is it? And a big game next week as well. And Hunslet obviously wants to secure the top 5 for the playoffs. That
was a great conversion attempt from Joe Sanderson from this main stand touchline. He doesn't miss many. 1 from 1. Bulls Live, proper sport. 7 minutes gone here. And it is 6 points to 0 to Hunslet, who are chasing a first win in the league over Bradford for 47 years. 47 years ago, I wasn't even born. So, on the restart, Hunslet are moving the ball down the middle. They're turned over in the back. There's Laithwaite, there's Bustin, there's also Hallis there in a 3-man tackle. Once again, it's going to be Jack Lee out of dummy half, probing. Decides to give it with Josh Tonks, who will do what Josh Tonks always does, just drive it down the middle, the centre of the field. Here goes Foggin Johnston out of dummy half, just alleviating the burden on the forwards. No penalties yet in open play. Nearly 10 minutes gone as Hunslet once again enjoying the dry conditions here. Bullock pass from Aidan Hemmer there, and it's going to find Josh Chonks on this left-hand side. They're going to go down the left-hand side with Lewis Reid. Reid's wrapped up just inside the Bradford half. Ashley Gibson, the defensive tackler there. Jack Lee out of dummy half. It goes to Kane Southernwood, one of 4 former Bradford players in this Hunslet side this afternoon. And the referee, Michael Smale, is going to say that Greg McNally was taken out Greg McNally was taken out in the air there. First penalty of the game at Avila. A chance for the Bulls via Joe Keys' trusty right boot to advance the Bulls inside the Hunslet half.
Yeah, definitely. Should be interesting now. They've just kicked a touch and we're getting the ball back nearly on the halfway line. So you're more or less starting the set of 6 in good ball straight away. So should be interesting to see what Keysy and Chiz put on here. Both will look really threatening today, I think. So should be a good one.
Bradford then, good field position, 3 tackles remaining. Minchella plays the ball, Hallis to Chisholm, to McNally, McNally out to Oakes. It's the old Left edge partnership of Ryan and Oakes repeating itself. That scored so many tries last season in 2017. Chisholm will give the ball to Minchella. Minchella's going to be brought down on tackle number 4. 15 metres out in centre field position. It's going to go from Hallas. Chisholm looking for Ethan Ryan. Ryan palms it back, but he's got it to touch. And as we've seen so many times, it's almost becoming a trademark crossfield kick from Chisholm to Ryan. They might want to copyright the intellectual property of it, but on that occasion it faltered and a chance has gone begging. So 10 minutes exactly gone here at the Southleeds Stadium, and it remains Hunslet 6, Bradford 0. Gavin Duffy's try on 6 minutes the difference.
Interesting one that, isn't it? I think we look really threatening when we do the long shift play, and they look like they've got a couple of men short. Maybe just hit out the back and see if we can get around them. But Hunslet are looking really good, coming out of yardage here. They did a 100-metre set nearly the set before. They're looking good in them long shift plays that they're doing. Just see how they go. It should be interesting, like I said earlier, to see how the game's going after about 20 minutes when both teams start to tire, because Bradford, I think we're a naturally fit team and a very smart team. And Hunslet are a very smart team, but we'll see how their fitness holds up in this heat. It should be interesting.
Gary Boucher messaging, why isn't Vila Halafi playing this afternoon? Well, as John Kerr has done numerous times throughout 2018, he's decided to rotate the squad, so Vila gets a well-earned 80-minute rest ahead of a crucial game against York next week. But Bradford, they're in the right here and right now, and Ethan Ryan has gone down on the surface, hard surface of the Southleeds Stadium here, is under pressure from Watson and Madudu. But the referee is going to give Ethan Ryan the benefit of the doubt and say the ball went backwards. So it will be a play the ball to the Bradford Bulls. And Ethan Ryan just gets a bit of a check-up from the Bulls physio on the far stand side. But as we said, Vila, it's tough, hard, dusty conditions for both sides today.
Yeah, very tough. The weather's playing massive. There's going to be a massive difference to the game, I think. We're just getting the ball now coming up to the halfway line, so we should have some plays in good ball towards the end of this set. Hopefully we can get round them, because they do look a pretty tight team in the middle at the moment. Try a few short sides maybe. It's going to be interesting to see how it goes actually. Good carry by Steve there, looking for an offload.
Steve Crossley's brought down 25 metres out from the Hunslet line, left to centre field. Hallas now to Chisholm. Chisholm to Minchella. Minchella to Keys. Keys is wrapped up though by Southernwood and Watson. Last tackle here for the Bradford Bulls. 10 metres out in front of the post. Chisholm, here's the trademark. Boomerang kick over the head of Ethan Ryan. Wow. That wasn't telepathic. That was like two people meeting on a date for the first time. 6-0, Hunslet lead.
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange one. I think twice there Bradford have attacked a gun for a kick when we should have hit the man out the back there and got numbers on the right hand side. But we've gone back the other way and opted for a kick. It's quite windy actually. There's quite a breeze. I'd just like to see us get to the end of a set really, and then see what they've got and see if we can hunt a mistake in their 20.
Well, there's a real good intensity to this one. Madudu gets to his feet, plays the ball. Lee's going to find Mackay, and Liam Mackay once upon a time come through the Bradford Bulls Academy. Here goes Southernwood probing. They're looking to go past Keys and Gibson, but Laithwaite comes in as the third man. They're around about 6 metres shy of halfway. They move it through the centre, Tom Ashton. Ashton's brought down on the fifth and last tackle. What will Hunslet do here? Try score a Duffy. Just gives it to Southernwood. Southernwood plays the percentages and drills it into touch.
It's clear what they're trying to do, I think. Obviously they're going down the sides at Keezy and Chiz, and then they're looking for that long shift play. But I think John hit the nail on the head earlier. We need to complete a set now and get down in their half, complete a set in good ball, and even if that means by just hitting a carry in the corner and letting them come out the corner, and then try and jam them down there, because at the moment they're getting out, starting on the 20-metre restart line and getting some good metres off their sets.
6-0 Hunslet. still in the lead here. They've got a bit of ascendancy that the Bulls would like. Here goes Dalton Grant down the left-hand edge, and he's brought down 2 metres shy of the halfway line. Hallis, good distribution to Garside. Garside flick up past to Chisholm. Chisholm to Ryan. Ryan's going to be felled there by Watson. Watson brings him down just outside the 20. And we're about to see the first points of the afternoon for the Bradford Bulls as Callum Bustin trundles it towards the Hunslet 10-metre line. Once again, still left of centre field. Hallis is looking down the middle. Flat looking pass to Crossley. Crossley rolled over on his side. Last tackle. Keys. Crossfield kick. Anything Chisholm can do. Grant and Gibson can do better. 6 points to 4. Game on here in Hunslet. What a try.
Well, we've actually got to the end of a set there and got a result out of it. Great kick, great hands by Grant as well. Great finish in the corner, but we just need to focus on finishing the sets. To me, they're just playing percentage football, and if I'm honest, I think they're going to tire pretty quickly, Hunslet. Happy for them to prove me wrong, but we just need to keep completing. If we keep completing, we'll get the results at the end.
Well, we've just seen Ashley Gibson get try number 6 of the season in this main stand corner, and Chisholm will attempt the conversion attempt. Gary Boucher says wicked try. That corner makes more sense judging by the shadows. And Ian Chapman agrees. Better from the Bulls, and Sue Bullard says a brilliant try. We've had 16 minutes gone here at the South Leeds Stadium. Must be said, there's very little space left in this main stand side, so potentially a record crowd for Hunslet this season. Dane Chisholm then. 5 from 6 attempts last week in that 24-4 victory over Newcastle Thunder. John Keir watching on, just in front of the dugout. The Hunslet supporters doing their best to put Dane Chisholm off, and they've certainly maybe contributed to that. That one has gone across the face of the post, and with Bulls Live and Proper Sport, Mick Leddell, Vila Halafi and John Keys bringing you exclusive commentary and vision on the live stream this afternoon. It remains Hunslet 6, Bradford Bulls 4, but that's better, John, from the Bulls. We've seen a little bit of a response.
Yeah, absolutely, and also shifting the ball both ways on the field, which I think is really important. We've got some tough games coming up. We've got to see this one out yet, but great finish there.
So a try apiece, and on the restart, bit of a shaky juggle there from Ethan Ryan. The ball went back towards his own line, and he's going to be brought down 10 metres out from the try line. On tackle number 1, it's going to go from Hallis to Garside. Garside's brought down. The debutant, James Green, just warming up, along with Brandon Pickersgill, George Flanagan, Ross Peltier. So John Key, a lot of options this afternoon. Ross Oakes appealing, Sam Hallis appealing for the penalty. Wins the penalty after being held in the tackle there by Straffer. And that's 2-0, the penalty count in favour of the Bradford Bulls. Emma Dunning says, come on you Bulls, a crucial game for us this afternoon. Chisholm will tap it, 10 metres inside the Hunslet half, gives it to Crossley. Crossley's going to be brought down by Mackay and Straffer, and Crossley still going forward. Nearly 20 metres there. They're going on the short-hand side. Chisholm to McNally. McNally chiming in. He's got to apply the brakes. He doesn't want to be bundled over the sideline. And he's brought down 9 metres out from the line. It'll go from Oakes to Garside. Garside with 9 tries this season. Hallis attacking the markers. The referee says it was legal. They're 5 metres out now as it's going to go out of the dummy halfway from Midchella to Chisholm. Last tackle for the Bulls. The trail 6 points to 4. It's been a really great advert for Betfred League One. Keys, Manali, Gibson! Gibson's got a brace! Gibson can just fend off Kane Sutherwood! and Sutherwood tried his hardest to dislodge that ball, but in the end, Ashley Gibson, he's got a second in as many minutes. He's now got 7 tries for the season, and the hordes of Bull supporters in this main stand and on the Bell Isle Terrace are jumping for joy. John Keir's side hit the front Vila Halafihi.
Yeah, I think we're starting to look good now. Like I said, when we started completing sets, get more field position, finish higher at the end of the sets, we've started to look good. Twice on that edge now with Keezy, and Gibbo and Dalt on that edge, looking good, looking really good.
Well, the York City Knights head coach James Ford is here. I briefly spoke with James Ford in the foyer, the reception area here, prior to kick-off, and oh boy, London Scholars, who Bradford will face a week on Saturday at New River Stadium. They pushed the York City Knights all the way yesterday afternoon. It was 22 points to 20, and the third game this season that the York City Knights have just escaped on the road by 2 points or less. They actually had a tight game here at the Southfleet Stadium 3 months ago. Hunslet going down narrowly by 26 points to 24, but James Ford is here. He's doing his homework ahead of the big one next week. And Dane Chisholm, can he be successful? It's gone across the face again. The wind perhaps contributing to that one. And on Bulls Live and Proper Sport, with exactly 20 minutes gone on the clock here at the Southfleet Stadium, it's a brace of tries from Ashley Gibson, and it's 6 points to 8 in favour of the Bulls. And Gary Thornton about to bring on Jack Coventry and Michael Haley. As we said, energy sapping conditions. And Kane Sutherwood's restart, well, he's obviously identified Ethan Ryan perhaps as a weak link in this Bradford side after a couple of early errors, but Ethan Ryan takes that, sees Crossley on the outside and gives it to Steve Crossley, the former Clayton amateur, who will carry the Bulls outside their own 20 on tackle number 1. Bradford 15 shy of halfway on tackle 2 as Chisholm gives it to Busting. Busting gets the momentum, the drive, and he's brought down on the Bradford 40-metre line, centre field. Hallis has options to the left, to the right. Hallis finds Chisholm. Chisholm still going forward, fending off Lewis Reed. Big collision, but he's finally brought down by Mackay and Straffer. Chisholm will get to his feet inside the Hunslet half. He'll play the ball, and once again it'll be the man that can, Callum Busting, who goes straight down the middle channel. Last tackle, it goes to Keys. Keys looking for Gibson again, looking to put Gavin Duffy under pressure. Duffy takes it, but that's a great kick chase there from Keys, and a great cover two-man tackle from Gibson and Laithwaite. Out of dummy half, the Hunslet fullback Watson. He will run lateral into centre field, and he's brought down in the dust. 15 out from his own try line. Here goes Tom Ashton on tackle number 2. We've got 18 minutes to go to half time. Andrea Avison, Mick Jackson, Susan Bethel, and Brian Clarkson joining us this afternoon on Bulls Live Proper Sport. But here come Hunslet. The pass from Jack Lee to Sutherwood. Sutherwood's pass to Sanderson has gone to ground. An almighty chance gone begging there for Hunslet.
Yeah, well, do you know what happened there? There was a tackle, and 3 of the Bulls players were facing their own post, and the ruck had gone because we weren't retreating facing the ball. You need to retreat facing the ball like your house is on fire, and instead we were walking, and the guys just made 70 metres. We need to switch on a bit there in the middle of the park.
Well, the Bradford Bulls, they made 1 missed tackle last time out against Newcastle Thunder. They've made 3 already this afternoon. Perhaps the heat affecting the concentration levels, but with 23 minutes gone here, it is still Hunslet 6, Bradford 8. Gavin Duffy opened the scoring for Gary Thornton's side after 6 minutes. And then we saw the response, the riposte from the Bulls. A brace of tries to Ashley Gibson inside 3.5 minutes. And now we're about to see Peltier come on the field for Callum Busting. And here we see James Green and George Flanagan once again. They're getting instructions from John Keir down in front of the dugout, and he'll be wearing number 37. Well, the Castleford Tigers loanee. And we've just got a bit of a concerning injury here, Vila, but we knew it was going to be tough, so we're under no illusion because, as we've said, despite 2 defeats earlier on in the season, Gary Thornton's side have a great chance of springing an upset here.
Yeah, it's been a really good game so far, I think. It's had a bit of, from both sides, they've had a bit of good attack. Just a bit worrying here, I think, is that James Lathwaite down. Hopefully he'll get up and he'll be fine. But yeah, we've started to look good now. We've started completing sets, and Key's been putting the ball down in that corner with lovely kicks. So they've been able to come out of their corner when our D's revved up. So yeah, all good so far. But hopefully we can press on now. These boys are getting tired.
And I've asked you this question numerous times, Vila, but for the benefit of the Bulls Live and proper sport, a viewing public this afternoon. Obviously last season was a bit of an indifferent year for you, a bit of a frustrating season if truth be told under Jeff Tuvey. But I mean, how much has 2018 been a breakthrough year for you in terms of getting consistent action? We know you're not playing today, you've been rested ahead of a big game next week, but I mean, in 2018 you really do have your spring back in your step and you're really enjoying your rugby league at Odsal.
Yeah, I am, yeah. I'm just really enjoying my rugby now. I think John's given me a chance. You know, he was a new coach when he came in, new to all us players, and I think I've just worked hard, and he's repaid that really with giving me an opportunity, and I've just took it on a week by week basis, like I say, and done my best and tried my hardest. Interesting here now, James Lathwaite's coming off, which ain't good for us at all. He's been unbelievable since he came. James Green's gone on into the middle, I think, and now Minnie's moved out to the back row. So, personally, I think this is where Minnie's the most dangerous now, Elliot Minchella. He gets the ball now with a little bit more space, and he can do more of his skillful stuff rather than just the nitty-gritty hard stuff in the middle. I think he always seems to score more tries on the edge as well. He's been outstanding all year for us, I think, Minnie. And we need to do all we can as a club to keep hold of him, I think, because like he showed the other week when he was the captain, he's not only a skillful player, but he's also a really good leader as well.
Well, that doesn't look good for James Lathwaite. He's not really putting much pressure on the left ankle, and he will go down the tunnel, helped and aided by Aaron Scholes. Liam Johnson, who is the nominated water carrier this afternoon, and we'll try and get a half-time update on the situation there to James Lathwaite. But it is the last tackle for the Bulls. They're up to halfway. Hallis to Keys. Keys looking to put Fogging Johnson under pressure on that far stand side, and Fogging Johnson takes that under pressure from Keys, Gibson and Crossley, and it remains Hunslet 6, Bradford 8 in a tight one here.
Yeah, it's a tight one. It is really tight. I'm just watching the Hunslet boys there retreat, and don't get me wrong, I think if I was playing this I'd be pretty tired as well with the heat, but you know, we're still pretty bubbly. Sam Ellis in the middle, still lively as ever. Same with Steve Crossley, and you're looking at the Hunslet middles there, and as we kicked back then they were gassed a little bit and taking a bit of deep breaths in. I think we've made 2 subs, but one mainly because of an injury. Otherwise we've only made 1. And Hunslet have made 2, so their middles look like they're timing a little bit. Great shot, Gas. Great shot.
Gar side will bring down Sanderson. 10 metres inside the Bradford half on the last tackle. The kick will come in from Madudu, but Madudu has been taken out off the ball with a shoulder charge. So Hunslet's first penalty of the afternoon, and Gary Thornton's side are going to put the Bulls under pressure here. And as we said, while James Lathwaite has gone down the tunnel, James Green is on the field and he will make his Bulls debut this afternoon.
Yeah, the Bulls are putting themselves under a bit of pressure at the minute. Completion rate's not good, and we're doing a few making passes, I think, when we don't need to. We need to keep shifting the ball, working hard, and that's a soft penalty to give away now, and probably a soft 2-point to tie the game up again. But you know, it's about making the most of your opportunities and also managing the game. Manage what you're doing and manage the conditions.
I agree with John there. I think when he just said then, managing the game. We got into about 10 minutes ago, we came down our right edge a bit in good ball and gave Keys to the ball, and we were just slotting it away in that corner and letting them come out. Now this gives them an opportunity to tie up the game, and and get back into the game as well, because if they get this, obviously they get the ball back coming out of yardage. Really interesting now though, like I said earlier, with them tied middles of Hunslet, George Flanagan's just come on for us, and he's an absolute live wire, so he loves running, loves creating things. So with George on here now with a full tank of energy, it should be very interesting running at their tired middles.
Joe Sanderson maintains his 100% record with the boot this afternoon, and with 8 minutes to go to half time here at the South Leeds Stadium, it is all square and 8 points apiece. It could be a crucial penalty come full time, the shoulder charge from Garside, but as we said, 31 minutes gone on the clock here, and it is Duffy and 2 Sanderson goals, separated by a brace of tries to Gibson. We're locked up at 8 points apiece. Bulls Live, proper sport this afternoon. Dane Chisholm will get us back underway with the boot. A high hanging kick taken by Watson. Watson gives the ball to Coventry. Coventry's brought down by Crossley and Flanagan's in there, back on his old stumping ground. He'll get to his feet, moving it back down this middle channel, and you can see the infused nature of this Bulls defence. Out of dummy half, it's going to go from Gavin Duffy. They're 10 metres out from the halfway line, looking for options. Straffer takes on Garside. That's the 4th tackle gone for Gary Thornton's side, and they're on the halfway line. Sanderson, Southernwood to Watson. Watson's going to be brought down by Minchella and Flanagan. Last tackle, says the referee. 35 out. Southernwood kicks towards McNally. McNally will pick it up, 5 out from his own try line before he's wrapped up there by Liam Mackay. And McNally now in a dummy half to Grant. Grant wrapped up on his own 30. Here's the go forward man, Peltier down the left edge. 2 tackles remaining here for the Bulls. Flanagan now in his customary position to Chisholm. Chisholm to Garside. Garside is brought down now on the last tackle. 5 inside the Hunslet half. 8 points apiece. What a thriller this has been. Chisholm's kick, it's gone behind. Picked up by Keys, but Keys is wrapped up there just in front of the halfway line. So Hunslet, they're going to have a full set of 6. A bit of miscommunication, Vila, there from the Bulls. 8 points apiece it remains.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, really. I missed that. What happened? What happened?
Making some poor choices coming out of our half, you know. And Bradford, I said it, we completed 2 sets and scored it in both of them. And the last few, we're just not doing that. We're panicking. There's loads of time left in this game.
Hunslet, 30 out from the Bradford line. It'll be Southernwood. Southernwood plattered high by Steve Crossley. Gary Thornton already has the 2 fingers in the air. Hunslet are about to take a 10 points to 8 lead. Steve Crossley arguing with the referee. The referee's decision's final. He's not going to change it. And once again, ill discipline now from the Bulls. Potentially is going to hand Sanderson a 2-point lead in front of the post, Vila.
Yeah, I think that was a bit harsh, that really. I think Greeny was just supporting the inside runner, and then he's added on to the tackle. Unfortunately, obviously, he took that inside runner out, but I think the same as before. There's not much in it now. I think it's 8-8 at the moment, and then if they kick, they'll get a 2-point lead, and there's not much in the game at the moment.
Well, while Joe Sanderson will attempt his 3rd conversion of the afternoon, let's go through the fixtures. Coventry Hemel, Doncaster West Wales Raiders, Keighley Oldham, Newcastle Thunder against North Wales Crusaders, and Workington Town against Whitehaven. A lot of people after the Newcastle Thunder's visit to Wadsall last week were saying to him that surely got to be a false position for Jason Payne and the Newcastle Thunder, but a victory this afternoon against the North Wales Crusaders will put them 4 points outside the top 5. Sanderson, though, straight as a die between the posts, and it is Hunslet. They have the lead again. Bulls Live Proper Sport, Hunslet 10, Bradford Bulls 8, and we are literally 5 minutes out from half-time now, Vila.
Yeah, not 5 minutes till half-time, you say. It's not long, that now. We need to, like John said earlier, and I said, we need to start managing the game now, this last 5 minutes. Go into half-time with the game under control and try it if possible, but yeah, we need to really start managing the game now and finishing down in their half.
Back underway. Watson. Immediately give it to the big units. Fogging Johnston goes in at dummy half. He wants to go past Flanagan, but he can't get past James Green, and Green brings down Johnston just outside his own 20-metre line. It's going to be Gibson and Minchella in a two-man tackle. 10 points to 8 here at the South Leeds Stadium. Straffer looks for support, finds Southernwood. Southernwood's pass is picked up by Ethan Ryan. A chance now for the Bradford Bulls. We've got 4 minutes remaining on the clock. The Bulls supporters appealing for a penalty. The Bulls have just got to stay composed, play to the whistle, play what's in front of them. Chisholm will scoop the pass to Peltier. Peltier gets the legs driving, and Peltier gets the Bulls some momentum, and here comes the penalty. We've had 3 penalties apiece, 6 in total, and it is in front of the post, and John Keir, he knows the importance of escaping from the South Leeds Stadium this afternoon with 2 points. He holds 2 fingers in the air. The kicking tee will come on, and barring a Don Fox moment from Dane Chisholm, Chisholm will level the scores at 10 points apiece, and he'll have his first successful conversion of the afternoon.
Yeah, Bradford have actually done well there. Ethan's intercepted the ball, but again, we seem to be rushing. Go back to the Hunslet scores. 2 pointless penalties given away and 4 points conceded for no reason. A shoulder charge, and to be honest, I think the last one was a mistake by the referee. I think Green just went after the ball after a dummy was thrown and didn't read it properly. Chisholm squares it all up at 10-all. Mick, back to you.
Bulls Live Proper Sport. Chisholm on point. 1 from 3 attempts, but it's a crucial one. We've got 3 minutes exactly remaining on the clock here at the end of this first half, and we still don't know which way the points are going or heading this afternoon. It's 10 points apiece, a real attritional rugby league fixture from Betfred League One, and as we said, we'll keep you up to date with all those latest scores. York level, of course, on points with the Bulls after their 22-20 win over London Scholars. And just how big of a game is that next week, Vila? I know we've got to get through this, but that one, the games, the big games, they just keep on coming.
Yeah, there's been loads now in a row. I think we identified it when we got to the halfway point of the year. We identified, you know, we've got a tough couple of weeks now. I think it was tough 6 games, and we're coming to the end of that little run now. But at the end of the run, obviously, is today Hunslet and then York, and then I think after that we've got working at home after a couple of weeks. So yeah, really important this week and next week. But I don't think we can, you know, just say that. I think working at home will be a tough game as well. Whitehaven at home. Like you said, Mick, there's no easy games in this league.
Ross Peltier brought down 10 metres shy of halfway. Credit to Hunslet. They really are putting the squeeze on the Bulls' middles, but Flanagan will go out a dummy half, and he'll make some valuable metres forward, albeit now on the 5th and last tackle. It goes to Keys. Keys looking to put Watson under pressure. Watson takes it. Gibson's called offside, so Gibson has to retreat the 10, and that will allow Steve Crossley to wrap up Watson on his own 20-metre line. Is that George Flanagan down in back play, Vila?
Yeah, I'm not sure that. I don't know what's wrong with him, but it was a good carry before that. Obviously, spotted it was a quick ruck. Got out of there and gained some quick metres. I think he'll be fine. I think he's getting up now. I don't know what it was. Maybe just a knock on the nose or something.
So the referee is going to be happy that the play of the ball will be to Hunslet, 20 metres out from their own line in centre field. 10 points apiece with around about 90 seconds remaining at the end of this first half here. Bradford League 1, round 17. And it's Hunslet asking all the question of the league leaders. Flanagan still out there. Just a little bit of a knock there. Comes in a two-man tackle with Garside. Here goes Southernwood to Watson. Watson thought about the offload to Ashton. Keeps hold of the ball and he's brought down 5 metres out from the halfway line. They're up and over halfway here as it goes to Watson. Watson though, still going forward is Ashton, sorry. And it was Watson to Ashton on that little clever left-hand edge play. It'll be a quick play of the ball now as Hallamshaw's out there. Bit of a crossfield kick. Being taken by Madudu. Goes to Straffer. Straffer over the head of McNally. It's bounced up kindly for Hunslet. They've kept the ball going. Tackle completed. Hunslet 10, Bradford 10. And they're here to play, V.
Yeah, I don't know really, yeah. Good little set from Hunslet there. Gone the full length of the pitch. And nearly picked up a scrappy try then. We just need to be careful now leading into half time. I was saying earlier, just complete our sets, get down into their half, and then let them come out. I don't know who that is that's gone down for Hunslet, but time stopped.
Yeah, the referee will halt proceedings here. And we've had a minute of additional time. So with the injury to James Laithwaite, could be still a couple more minutes remaining, but 10 points apiece. John Kay will look to get his side in the changing rooms. And John, how do you evaluate this first half performance so far? Ross Peltier is brought down inside the Hunslet half. It'll go from Flanagan to Chisholm. Chisholm looking for Ethan Ryan. Here goes Ethan Ryan. Ethan Ryan past Watson and Foggy Johnson. But Watson gets there in the nick of time. Averts the danger. First goal line dropout of the afternoon. And Bradford will get another repeat set of 6 here. And the pressure still on Vila. The clock will be stopped.
Yeah, great opportunity here to get a try before half time. Yeah, should be good.
Is that all you've got to say?
Yeah, I don't really know, to be honest. There's not long left now till half time, is there? Time stopped again for Hunslet players. And, I think we look fresh. I think it looks hot out there, but I think we look reasonably fresh after the amount of defending we've had to do. There hasn't been that many stops during the game. So now we're getting the ball on our halfway line. Greeny with a good carry there.
James Green on tackle number 1. 30 metres out, centre field. Flanagan to Crossley. Crossley caught high. Bradford will go for 2 points in the 3rd minute of added on time at the end of this first half here on Bulls Live and Proper Sport. There's a high tackle, 25 metres out in front of the post, and it is Bradford's 4th penalty in this first half. And on will come the kicking tee and a chance for Dane Chisholm to take Bradford into an albeit slender 12-10 half-time lead.
Yeah, I would, if I'm honest, I think it's a bit of an undeserved lead, Mick, without being too harsh. Hunslet have really taken the game to the Bulls today, and I think Bradford are struggling to deal with it a bit at the moment. I know Laithwaite's gone off, there's a few changes been made, and we just seem to have lost a bit of rhythm here when we scored those 2 tries. But I think they need to just stick with processes. People must be bored of me saying it every week, but we seem to be doing off-the-cuff stuff in the middle of the field that's just not in the script, and I think that's having an effect. We just need to get to the end of the sets and get the just rewards.
Dane Chisholm to take the Bulls out to a 12-10 half-time lead, which he will between the posts. Bulls Live proper sport. It is Hunslet 10, Bradford Bulls 12. Chisholm kicking now at 50%. 2 from 4 attempts, and as we've said, the toughness of the challenge here this afternoon, Hunslet, they're only conceding on average 19 points a game. And they're certainly making Bradford work incredibly hard for every point here. We've nearly played 5 minutes of added on time. As we said, we did start the stopwatch. There's no countdown clock here at the Southlead Stadium. Ethan Ryan will trap the ball with his foot. He'll pick it up. He'll carry Bradford just outside the 20. Hooter imminent as Chisholm goes in at dummy half. Oakes, tackle 2, 25 metres out from his own line. Flanagan to Grant. Grant's brought down, 15 shy of halfway. There's the half-time hooter. We said it was imminent. Half-time here. Bradford League 1. Bulls Live proper sport. Hunslet 10. Bradford Bulls 12. It was a great start for Gary Thornton's side as Gavin Duffy crossed in this main stand corner. That was after Greg McNally had a try rolled down for the forward pass. The Bulls had them. So Bradford leading by 12 points to 10. The latest scores elsewhere in Betfred League 1. Half-time, Doncaster 42, West Wales 6. And it is Workington 2, Whitehaven 4 at Derwent Park in the Cumbrian Derby. So we're about to get the second half underway. Dane Chisholm, he gets the honour. So 40 minutes and just 2 points separating Hunslet and Bradford here at the Southlead Stadium this afternoon. And it will be Hunslet who will have first use of the ball, and it will be Southernwood in at dummy half over on the far stand side to Ashton. Ashton's brought down in front of the Belle Isle Terrace, which has been open for this afternoon's fixture. We haven't heard any attendance figures mentioned yet, but we're looking at around about 2,000 spectators here enjoying this treat from Betfred League 1 as Michael Haley is brought down on halfway. Fourth tackle gone then for Gary Thornton's side, who must be proud as punch with his side's application and effort in the opening 40 minutes. A bit of a loose pass there, but it's picked up by Madudu, and Madudu's brought down by Oakes and Garside, the 2 Bradford defenders in the tackle. Out of dummy half from Hallamshaw. The kick's going to come in straight down towards Dalton Grant. Dalton Grant will take that on his 10. Wrapped up on the 20, and that's a good kick chase from Sanderson, and Straffer and Mackay wrapping Grant up. Here goes Ross Oakes. Oakes is going to make 20 metres forward. We've had 90 seconds gone at the start of this second half. It's going to go from Flanagan to Ethan Ryan. Safety first, although Ethan Ryan returns the favour, and here goes Flanagan inside the Hunslet half. John Keir appealing for a penalty along with Mark Dunning on the touchline. They will get a penalty because Hunslet just didn't clear the ruck, and the guilty party there for Hunslet is Jack Coventry. Bradford leading the penalty count, 5 penalties to 3 now, and they're going to keep the pressure cooker going, but Hunslet have a player down. Vila, just quickly, what do you reckon was said in the sheds at half-time?
Just carry on completing your sets, like we've been saying all day so far. Get in that grind with them, get into the completion, let them come out of their yardage off their own line, and they'll crumble before us, because I think we're fitter and I think we're stronger. I reckon something along the lines of that. Good run there by George to get the penalty as well there. Very quick off the mark. Coming into their 20 metres now, so it should be really interesting here. Hopefully grab a try straight after half time.
James Green gets to his feet. It will go from Flanagan to Oakes. Oakes is brought down 5 metres out from that Hunslet line. Good distribution from Flanagan to Garside. Garside's just going to take Bradford underneath the posts. 2 tackles remaining. Bradford leading, albeit rather narrow, by 12 points to 10. But that pass from Flanagan to Steve Crossley will see the choo-choo train man cross for try number 3 of the season. And in the blink of an eye, And a Hunslet penalty. It is 16 points to 10, and that is just exactly what John Keir would have ordered. And George Flanagan there, proud as punch, rubbing the badge, punch in the air with delight. It was his ball that saw Steve Crossley, like the express train, crash over past Watson, and Chisholm potentially, with this conversion attempt from just to the left-hand side of the post, about to take the Bulls 2 clear scores in front inside the first 5 minutes of the second half. Feeler!
Yeah, good little play that on their line for the try there. I think it's hard to stop a big man like Steve running that hard, that close to the line. So, yeah, it worked well. Hopefully we can grab the 2 points now to make it... To make it, what will it be then? I can't even see it scoreboard, but better lead than what it would be. Go ahead.
Chisholm from in front adds the extra 2. Bulls Live proper sport. Hunslet 10, Bradford Bulls 18, and Chisholm now 3 from 5 attempts, adding a little bit of respectability to his goal kicking percentage this afternoon. We've still got 35 minutes to go, but much better from the Bulls, John Keys.
Yeah, much better, and you know what, won a penalty, great run by George, and then also just done what we needed to do, nothing too fancy. What we need to do now is do it again, and we'll let the restart bounce, and here we go again. But we need to get to the end of this set now and complete properly and put pressure on Hunslet at the other end of the field.
Big impact there from James Green, drawing a huge round of applause on debut. Flanagan to Crossley. Crossley brought down in a 3-man tackle on the Bradford 30-metre line. They're in good field position. A lot of movement as it goes from Keys to Minchella. Minchella 5 metres out from the halfway line. Flanagan to Peltier. Peltier will cross the Hunslet border and is brought down in enemy opposition. Here goes Flanagan. Flanagan with a lot of pace to Oakes. Oakes just lost himself there behind Flanagan, looks to offload the ball in the tackle, and he's wrapped up on his back on the 5th and last. 25 out, Flanagan to Chisholm. The man from Mullenbebe, this time a crossfield kick towards Grant. Grant takes it, Gibson juggles with it, and Gibson wrapped up by Southernwood on the far stand side. And on Bulls Live proper sport, the score remains Hunslet 10, Bradford 18.
Yeah, some really good go forward, and then George just ran 30 metres sideways and put Oakesy under pressure there with the pass. There was no one running back the other way. I'm not sure about that kick either there. I think Dalton was about 10 yards offside, but the referee didn't give it. So, but again, not a bad place to turn the ball over, but need to end the sets better.
Workington Town 4, Whitehaven 4. We're all locked up at Derwent Park. Narrow scoreline here as Straffer is turned in the tackle by Chisholm and Garside. Out of dummy half from Hallamshaw, giving the ball over on this right-hand edge to Madudu. Madudu's brought down 10 metres out from the halfway line. Sanderson to Southernwood to Watson. Watson tried that little flick on diagonal line, but he's wrapped up there by Keys and Minchella. Last tackle, Southernwood, a kick into open space. Southernwood regathers, no he doesn't. It's Matt Garside who put his body on the line. And he will save the Bulls bacon on that potential danger play there. Here goes Ethan Ryan. Ethan Ryan caught high. Straffer's stolen the ball. The referee has to make a decision, and he's going to say tackle completed. Give the ball back to Ethan Ryan. So the Hunslet skipper. Well, a bit of bedlam in the centre of the field here, but the referee's decision is Ethan Ryan. The tackle was completed, and he's given Hunslet the benefit of the doubt. Here goes Flanagan. Flanagan probing, looking for holes. Peltier running laterally, goes on a curve, straightens up, and he's 30 metres out from the Hunslet line. Here goes Keys. Keys past Hallamshaw. Can't get past Watson for good measure, and this is the last tackle. There's no one at home. Chisholm, once again, that crossfield kick. This time looking for Dalton Grant. It's gone out on the full, and that will take the play back to the Hunslet 20. Hunslet 10, Bradford 18. We've had 8 minutes gone in this second half. Vila Halafiyi.
It's another kick there gone dead. I think that's 3 now this game. So I think we need to just keep the ball in play for a start, limit their rest, and yeah, that's just long now. That for us, they start on their 20 metres. That gives them 20 metres start in their sets, and now what is it? Tackle 3, and they're coming up to the halfway line. So they're gonna have a good set here now, and then a penalty for hand on the ball in the tackle. We're just gifting them little niggly stuff there, you know. Now they're coming into good ball, on the 50-metre line, 30-metre line now. Sorry, we just seem to be gifting them possession, gifting them yards. That's pretty important. The ball going out on the full, like I say, for the 3rd time now. If we just finish there in the corner, let them come out of the corner, it's just a game of completion.
Hunslet awarded their 4th penalty, the first of the second half, and they will have the ball with Southernwood. Southernwood is going to find Coventry, and Jack Coventry with the blue scrum cap is brought down 15 metres out. Busting is back out on the field at the start of this second half, and Flanagan coming in as a second man. Here goes Sanderson to Watson down the middle, wrapped up 10 metres out there, the 2 former teammates, Watson and Flanagan in the dust. Southernwood trying to suck in that Bulls defensive line. He finds the runner, Lewis Reed. He's brought down underneath the post. Hallamshaw floats it out towards Southernwood. Southernwood back on the reverse pass. Big collision there from James Green. Last tackle. Here goes Straffer. Straffer to Madudu. And Madudu has come up with a boo-boo. It's an error to Hunslet. And a Bulls live and proper spot this afternoon at the South Leeds Stadium in the baking heat. It is 10 points to 18 with 50 minutes gone. Here goes Busting. Busting on tackle number 1. And I must admit, I've never seen John Keir as animated as he's been in this game. He's been very close to the technical area alongside Mark Dunning watching over proceedings. Sam Hallas back out there. Keys, Minchella out towards Ashley Gibson. 3 tries to the Bulls, a brace to Gibson and Crossley. And here goes James Green thundering down the middle. Couldn't quite hit V1 to rotate, but here goes Flanagan to Hallas. And Hallas is wrapped up on the last tackle. 28 metres out from that Hunslet line. Hunslet still clinging on. Keys, crossfield kick. They've allowed it to bounce. Watson will shore up. Gets past Minchella. Can't get past Hallas there. And McNally. And that was good defensive play from McNally and Hallas there, bringing down Watson. The Bulls of Hunslet where they want them, though, deep inside their own half. And it's worth mentioning the 3rd meeting of the season when they met back in March at Odsall. It was 32 points to 12. Here at the South Leeds Stadium in the Challenge Cup, it was Hunslet 10, Bradford 34. Both games, the result right in the balance around the hour mark, and that's looking like being the same this afternoon. We've got 28 minutes remaining here. 8 points the difference as it goes to Sanderson, to Southernwood, to Watson, to Ashton. Touch the Bradford arm there. The referee will say back to 6. Hunslet on the 0 tackle. High tackle, 30 metres out. Hallas, a lazy arm grab there. And the penalty count now is locked up at 5 penalties apiece. John Keys, Bradford back under the pump.
Yeah, just previous attacking set there from Hunslet. I would say Bradford defence is very good, both right hand side and left hand side. But then we've put up a really good kick. In the Hunslet 20. I think there was an escort in there as well. Seems to be at the minute the referee's playing that. Whose line is it anyway? With a bit of improvisation going on here, but Bradford are their own worst enemies at the moment. We've just got to get back to completing the sets. That's what we've got to do. Giving away silly penalties. I'm assuming they're going to go for 2 points here.
Well, John Keir said that he'd been waiting all season to see Greg McNally, Joe Keys, Dane Chisholm all out on a dry track, and expectations were looking pretty high. Lee Smith, currently the only Bradford player out with injury. So potentially Lee Smith could be back and featuring next week against York. And as we said, it's the final countdown, the final 10 games of the Bradford League One season. And Hunslet, they've declined the 2. They're looking for 4. They're looking for potentially 6. As Sutherland's wrapped up 10 metres out by Garside and Chisholm. Straffer, once upon a time of the Bradford Bulls, wrapped up on his back in front of the Bradford post. Short pass to Lewis Reid. Reid twisted and turned. Great defence there from the Bradford Bulls. And it's Matt Garside to the rescue. Superhuman effort. Hallamshaw gets the quick play of the ball in. Along the line it will go as they come back on the lateral. And that will be Tom Ashton, who's wrapped up on the 4th tackle. 1 tackle remaining here for Gary Thornton's side after this. As Sanderson to Madudu. Madudu, 8, 6, 5 metres out on the last tackle. What will Hunslet do here? Centre field, Sanderson, Southernwood, kick behind the line towards Dalton Grant. The touch judge is on. Somebody has been taken out off the ball. Ill discipline costing the Bulls here, John.
I couldn't see what happened there, to be honest, Mick. What did happen there?
Well, I don't think someone's going for 10 minutes in the bin, but Minchella just obstructed the Hunslet players' line, and it is back-to-back penalties. Sam Hallas pointing to the referee, saying, is it the same for both sides, sir? I have no complaints with that penalty. But Bradford, oh boy, a 3rd consecutive set of 6 in this heat that they are going to have to repel from Gary Thornton's Hunslet side. And as we said, prior to that 28-18 defeat to Workington last week, Hunslet did have a 7-game winning streak. And here they go through Lewis Reid, another former Bradford player in this Hunslet side this afternoon. He was in the academy under Paul Medley, and it's going to be Lewis Reid. Quick play the ball, Hallamshaw to Straffer, and it's game back on here at the South Leeds Stadium. Dwayne Straffer gets Hunslet's 2nd try of the afternoon, and it's 14 points to 18. 54 minutes gone. Divert your ears, divert your eyes at your own peril. This one's going the distance.
Yeah, I don't really know what happened there. I have to see the replay to see who it was, but I think we just didn't control that last tackle there. I think we let them play pretty quickly. They literally hit the floor, played it straight away, and then Harmshaw hit the lead on the line, and he just pushed straight through. So, yeah, I think we just needed to slow the ball down there a little bit. What do you think, John?
I just think they're being a bit disrespectful, if I'm honest. Silly nonsense penalties given away. I don't understand that. And to be fair, Hunslet have taken every opportunity. I mean, it looked like there was a block there on that last play when they scored. Certainly some crossing with the leader, and the Bradford man tackled the lead instead of them going after the ball. But it's no more than Hunslet deserve this second half, mate. They've come out fighting.
Joe Sanderson, 100%, a crucial 2 points on offer. This to take Hunslet within 2 points, which Sanderson does. And on Bulls Live and Proper Sport this afternoon from the South Leeds Stadium, fast approaching the hour mark. It is Gary Thornton's side 16, John Keir's Bulls 18. Duffy, Straffer the try scorers for Hunslet, Sanderson with 4 from 4, and for the Bulls, a brace to Gibson as the Bulls hit a 2-minute purple patch, posting 8 points midway through the first half, and Steve Crossley. So, 2 points the difference. We knew it was going to be tough. We knew it was going to be physical, but there's a real good intensity and rhythm to this fixture here now. And Hunslet, they have the Bulls on the rack. And how much of those 3 consecutive defensive sets has that taken out of the Bulls' energy tank? It goes to Sanderson, to Southernwood, along the line to Madudu. Madudu past Garside, can't get past Hallas. Hallis brings him down 5 metres inside the Bradford half, and once again it's going to be Halenshaw to Liam Mackay. Mackay's wrapped up on the last. Once again, Green and Hallis in that tackle. The kick comes in from Southernwood. The bounce towards McNally. McNally takes it. He's got pressure to get past. Here goes Greg McNally. McNally was just about to enter a foot race, but he was brought down by Foggy Johnston. Bradford, quick play the ball via Ethan Ryan. Here goes Ross Oakes. Ross Oakes up to halfway. 3 tackles gone. Bulls, the momentum coming back. It goes to Grant. Out to Minchella. Minchella's away. Elliot Minchella on that eastern touchline. 10 metres out. There's no one at home. The Bulls, can they stretch? They're going down the middle with Hallis. Hallis, last tackle for the Bulls. 2 metres out. Flanagan to Crossley, to Keys. Keys! Yes, Keys! Joe Keys! A crucial try in the promotion race. Hunslet 16, Bradford 22. And with that, Joe Keys scores Bradford's 170th try of the John Keir era at the South Leeds Stadium. Goes balmy, it erupts.
Well, actually, from that set, what was interesting was about the ruck speed. So the first carry, and then Sam put a massive hit on. We got the ball back off the kick. Greg ran with some real intensity. But then the ruck speed, the ball was coming quick. Keys involved in the previous pass and gets a pass out from Crossley. Steve did really well to offload the ball. Keys finishes it under the sticks. But, you know, the ruck speed thing in these games is crucial. John said it, I think, 2 weeks ago, that it was really slow. And that, to me, is what we should be doing all the time, playing with that intensity.
Well, Joe Keys has crossed for try number 7 of the season, and what a crucial try that could turn out to be, because with an hour gone on the clock on Bulls Live and Proper Sport here this afternoon, Bradford lead by 22 points to 16. If Chisholm can knock this one over, this will take the Bulls once again out to an 8-point lead, but Hunslet, they're just not letting the Bulls go any further. Chisholm, cool, calm, composed, looking at the ball, looking at the posts. A crucial kick coming up here in front of the post. Chisholm goes out to 4 from 6 attempts, and as we call it, with an hour gone here at the South Leeds Stadium, it is Hunslet 16, Bradford Bulls 24. Gibson ×2, Crossley and Keys, the Bulls try scorers, and Fieler. Wow, who knew Steve Crossley was Stretch Armstrong, Mr. Flexible to get the ball out the back door.
Yeah, it was great offload from Steve there. I think John mentioned it earlier though, ruck speed's the key to that try there. I think the backs have come on there and really sped the ruck up. We've gone about 50 metres in 3 plays, just because of quick play of the balls, and then we've scored because they're goosed, so. And then they've kicked it out on the full, so this should be a great set for us again after we got the try.
The restart from Kane Southernwood out on the full. Penalty count, 6 penalties apiece. And Chisholm, a great kick there from Dave Chisholm, just outside the Hunslet 20. And the Bull supporters in this main stand, they start to bang the drum. Gibson, Keys to Bustin. Bustin's brought down 18 metres out. He'll be a Bradford Bulls player in 2019. Flanagan to Hallis. Hallis now playing in the back row. Quick play the ball. It goes to Keys. Keys finds Minchella. Minchella's going to straighten up, and Jack Leal's just come on for Gary Thornton's side, wraps Minchella up. Flanagan out of dummy half. Flanagan, has he got the ball down? Well, I'll tell you something now. You're going to package that up and you're going to sell it at Mothercare. George Flanagan with an outrageous dummy. The Bulls have gone back to back. They lead 30 points to 16.
Yeah, shocked me. George has done an outrageous dummy them again. That's his trademark. Great try, you know, yet again. They've kicked that out on the full. We've got some quick play the balls, made some good meters. And then George has done another dummy. Great, I think he's been great today. He's brought on loads of energy since he's been on, and really picked up the pace of the game. And that's what you need off your bench. You need them to make an impact. You need them to pick the pace of the game up, and I think George has done that since he's come on.
George Flanagan on his return to action. Try number 9 of the season, and I know Mothercare are currently in financial trouble, but to avoid liquidation, perhaps the CEO of Mothercare wants to have a word with George Flanagan, because that was an absolute outrageous dummy. Time and time again, he's doing it against these experienced League One sides and against his former employers. He will enjoy that one. And Dane Chisholm, once again, a crucial conversion attempt from in front. This to put the Bulls out to 14 points and a free score advantage going into the final 16 minutes here at the South Leeds Stadium. Dane Chisholm from in front, no mistake. Hunslet 16, Bradford Bulls 30. It is a free score lead. Vila, what does George, gorgeous George, as I christened him on his debut against Keighley, bring to the side?
A lot of energy. Changing rooms, he's the one that's always having a laugh, messing about. And then on the pitch, he brings so much. He brings a lot of energy to the team. But this should be interesting now. They've got the ball.
Well, the referee,
20 metres out.
Yeah, the referee's going to say first knock on, and we don't want to do the old Steve-oism, which of course is when a side scores, they come up with the error, but the Bulls, just perhaps full of adrenaline and pumped, were thinking about maybe going back to back to back, but the error 15 metres out, and there's still just over 15 minutes remaining, so Hunslet, they're not going to give up the ghost. Sanderson to Southernwood, great cover tackle there from Gibson on Watson. Watson will get to his feet. Southernwood out a dummy half. Here goes Reid. Reid having an industrious charge to the line, held up. Hunslet will go back to the 10. So 15 minutes exactly remaining on the clock. Hunslet 16, Bradford 30. 5 tries to 2, but it's been the kicking that has kept it tight. Chisholm 5 from 7, Sanderson 4 from 4. Here goes Southernwood, finds Sanderson. Sanderson towards the Bradford line, but great defence from Crossley and Garside. A lot of respect for that Bradford line. They've seen it breached twice in this match. They don't want to see it breached a third time. We've got a high octane finish here. Definitely, as it goes out to Reid on the left-hand edge. Last tackle, now or never for Gary Thornton, side you feel, as Lewis Reid is brought down, 8 metres out. Jack Lee to Southernwood. Southernwood straight into the arms of Midchella. And Midchella will take the tackle. 5 out from his own try line. And Bradford, they're going to do the hard yards forward here, just moving the ball out, but it certainly has been a much stronger and composed performance in this second half against opposition who've just not given the Bulls anything. Flanagan in dummy half, goes past Hallis. Flanagan's coughed the ball up, but George Flanagan, one of those outrageous runs out of dummy half, and referee Michael Smale will say not square, so the penalty count now, it's evened itself up and some, 8-6 in favour of the Bradford Bulls. And John Keys, it goes without saying, Hallis on there, Flanagan on there. There's a lot of traffic down the middle for Hunslet to try and extinguish, and unfortunately for them, they've just not been able to stop this bull stampede, as Andrew Chalmers would call it.
Yeah, I'm not as convinced about the stampede as I like to be, if I'm honest. I also think as well that what the referees have got to do is to stop people lying down on the field when there's nothing wrong with them. It's starting to look like people are really the last few weeks, but they really need to stamp that, just slowing the game down. But I think, yeah, you've got a good point, George, in some of the girls right up the middle, but I think if we start spreading the ball a bit wider, we've got 2 of the best wingers in the division here. Let's see what they can do when they've got the ball in hand.
Bradford, 3 tackles in. to their 8th penalty of the afternoon, and Hallis is brought down just outside the 20. Flanagan to Keys to Minchella. Minchella tries to go past the huge frame of Liam Mackay, but Liam Mackay will wrap him up and dump him to the South Leeds Stadium turf. Minchella peeling for a penalty. Flanagan in at dummy half to Keys to Chisholm. Chisholm's pass tried in vain there from Ethan Ryan, but in truth Greg McNally had just overrun it. He holds his left arm up, and with 12 minutes remaining on Bulls Live Proper Sport, it remains Hunslet 16, Bradford Bulls 30. And as we said, we all know what's happening at Hunslet next Sunday, a massive fixture from Betfred League One, and we all remember what happened at Bootham Crescent on the season opener. It was some Joe Keys kicking from 45 metres out. The latest scores and elsewhere in Betfred League One: Doncaster 78, West Wales 6. It is Workington 4, Whitehaven 10, Coventry and Hemel 6 points apiece, and it's a tight one at Kingston Park. Newcastle Thunder 6, Crusaders 0. A massive result or scoreline emerging between London and Halifax, and it's currently London 10, Halifax 0. London need to win, you feel, this afternoon to get in have any hope of the top 4. Here at the South Leeds Stadium, it's James Watson brought down on the Bradford 40-metre line. As it goes once again down that right-hand edge, Tonks wrapped up on the last. Referee says 5th and last tackle. It's going to go to Southernwood. Southernwood to Sanderson. Sanderson to Straffer. Inside support to Sanderson. Hot potato stuff here from Hunslet. It goes to Madudu. Madudu! Line and run extinguished. McNally and Ryan. What a tackle. Also Ross Oakes in there. Wow, that would have been some try if that had been scored, but credit to the tenacity of this Bulls scrambling defence. It remains Hunslet 16, Bradford 30.
No, but somebody flew out of the line there on the halfway line, and if you go, you've got to make those tackles, and that's how that's ended up there. That Hunslet nearly scored and stopped 5 yards out. Some great defence, but coming up to 10 minutes to go, Bradford just need to calm down and, as I said earlier, manage the game. That's all they've got to do to get the 2 points here.
Well, we're about to see Brandon Pickersgill come on the field. James Green gets a pat on the shoulder from John Keir. It has certainly been a positive debut for James Green. I've liked what I've seen from the Castleford loanee. And on will come Brandon Pickersgill in place of Greg McNally. Bradford's 8th interchange of the afternoon, and Bradford with Crossley now in centre field. The 2 tens collide, Crossley and Reid, and Crossley gets a couple of metres forward. 10 metres out from the halfway line. Keys goes probing on that right-hand edge, wrapped up with the ball. Last tackle, Minchella's gone down. Minchella looks in a lot of pain. The clock will stop. Hopefully it's just a little bit of cramp, but Elliot Minchella immediately raised the arm and drew attention to the left ankle, so hopefully nothing too serious. We've not had any word yet on James Laithwaite, but he's got the thumbs up as Elliot Minchella. It just appears to be a bit of cramp. He'll take on the fluids, and it remains Hunslet 16, Bradford 30, and we just see Elliot Minchella there walking off the cramp, pulls the socks up, and he'll be looking to play the ball, or should I say go behind Joe Keys, who will play the ball just a couple of metres shy of halfway. Well, we're inside the final 10 minutes, and I always ask John this, or our guest on Proper Sport, but Chisholm's just going to kick it into touch. Once again out on the full, so Chisholm's saying it come off a Hunslet player, but they're going to say it's going to be a Hunslet player the ball. But I always ask the viewers for the Bulls Live Proper Sport Man of the Match, so we're going to open the Man of the Match vote. Does Ashley Gibson get it with his tries? Does George Flanagan on his return to action? James Green, the debutant? Or do you go for someone with a lot of work ethic, either Garside or potentially Crossley? Hunslet, though, no a try on this set with 10 minutes remaining. Will certainly open the gate and let the cat amongst the pigeons. Reid To Lee, to Sanderson, to Southernwood. Back on the inside to Mackay. Mackay's going to be brought down. 2 tackles remaining here for Gary Thornton's side. Southernwood. Big, strong charge from Tonks. Tonks is wrapped up. Underneath the post. Last tackle. Lee to Sanderson. Crossfield kick. Looking for Fogging Johnston. And Fogging Johnston, he was trying to emulate what Ethan Ryan can do, and he just come up with the error. Vila Halafihi, I won't ask you to name the man of the match, but who do you reckon the contenders are for the Bradford Bulls this afternoon?
I think you've mentioned a few there. I think Ashley Gibson's played really well today, but he goes unmissed sometimes, you know what I mean? He does a lot of the hard work that not a lot of people see in the centres, so I think he's done really well today, as well as, you know, the tries he's assisted and stuff like that. Matt Garside, I think has been outstanding today, but also Sam Alice, not just at 9, but mainly when he's come on at loose, I think he's been absolutely outstanding. He won't mind me saying, but I think he's quite vertically challenged. Well, not one of the biggest lads, and he's taking big carries in the middle there. It's hard work, backing that up with defence. I think he's been outstanding today.
Hunslet are going to try and capitalise on a Bradford error. The ball of the bounce is kind. Peltier at the back to the rescue. The referee, though, will stop the clock and will go back to the original error. So the clock is stopped with 7 minutes remaining. That'll allow everybody to run on, including Mikey Ward and Liam Kirk, with the bottles of water. Important to keep yourselves hydrated here at the Southlead Stadium. And speaking of James Green, Vila, I'm not sure if the tale is correct, but I heard when he was just 6 years old, he could go to Blackpool Pleasure Beach and get on the big one.
I'm not entirely sure about that, but he's an absolute giant, that's for sure. He's massive, isn't he?
6 foot 7 inches. When I interviewed him at Tongue on Tuesday, I was in awe of James Green's presence. He's on loan till the end of the season. Potentially could be here in 2019, but we must be keen to stress it is initially an end of season loan, and we're just waiting for the scrum to be formed here. It'll be head and feet to Hunslet. And if you're just joining us, it's the third meeting between Bradford and Hunslet, and Bradford looking for the clean sweep in the trilogy. They've already met twice, with Bradford coming out on top in the Challenge Cup and the round 6 fixture at Odsal Stadium. And key to point out that Bradford currently on an 11-game winning streak, and not since the 23rd of May 1997, when then named head coach Matt Elliott's side beat the Oldham Bears at Odsal by 42 points to 28, have the Bradford Bulls won 11 games in a row. Now, we know in the 97 season they actually made it 20 games unbeaten, but this is pretty much emulating that special 1997 season, and there's a lot of striking parallels both on and off the field. The next game after the game against Oldham back in 97, it was a Tuesday night at Frum Hall. We all know what happened at Frum Hall back in 1997. Sean O'Loughlin, last minute try. The Bulls packed from the dead. Hunslet, are they about to rise from the dead? The Phoenix Flames, the 10 metres out from the Bradford line. They're looking for another try. Held up again over the line. The referee just going to say, though, that Michael Haley is still in the field of play. Jack Lee tries to pinch one. He's upended. And Steve Crossley and Pickersgill shut the door. Penalty to Hunslet. Bradford guilty of not clearing the ruck. Penalty count now is 8-7. Still in favour of the Bulls. But with 5 minutes remaining, another set of 6 for Hunslet to put the Bulls under pressure. How much do they want to preserve their 14-point lead? Straffer denied millimetres by Pickersgill. Straffer out of dummy half. It goes to Watson. Watson to Sanderson. Out to Southernwood. Southernwood on that left edge. Great defence as Mackay is brought down there by Minchella. Second tackle gone. Southernwood in centre field. Here goes the big man, Michael Haley. Haley towards the line. Haley's lost the ball. Did he get it down? No, he didn't. It's a 7-tackle set. And here goes Joe Keys. Can Joe Keys go the distance? Good scrambling defence there from Hunslet. Keys on the 0 tackle. Pickers go out a dummy half. It goes to Chisholm. Out towards Ethan Ryan. Ryan. He's found the Keys on the floor. Looks for support. Can't find more. And he's brought down 25 out. Here goes Joe Keys to Peltier. They're just going to try and calm things down here. John Keir's side. Because we've got 3 minutes remaining and the Bulls lead 30 points to 16. Keys 10 metres out now. 2 tackles remaining. George Flanagan. He's going to pitch another. Is it from dummy half? The ball's down. The ball is down. Gorgeous George. Wow. What a return to the Bradford Bulls. And he's going to do. It's not a snow angel. It's a dust angel. Look at him go. Reminiscent of Gascoigne in '96. George Flanagan, the catalyst for this Bulls win.
Yeah, again, come on the back of quick play the balls. We've just done a seven tackle set there. Quick play the balls, all of them. I actually look, I seen Keezy and dummy half on about 4th tackle, and I was looking for George, and he was actually on the like 40-metre line. So I think he was sucking in the big ones. Seeing the opportunity that he could throw a big dummy and went in there and got it. Credit to him, mate. He's been outstanding today. Him along with Sam. And he fully deserves that second try. It's brilliant there. He's managed to get that down.
Well, as we've already said, George Flanagan throwing more dummies than you find in the baby section at Boots and Mothercare. He's getting a standing ovation. And I tell you something, I've not done this all season long, but I think I'm going to take the vote away from the people. The Bulls Live, proper sport, man of the match this afternoon is that man there, number 21, George Flanagan. Listen to the noise, and I don't think anyone can agree with that, Vila.
No, you can't. He's been exceptional today. He's brought on so much energy since he came on, and that's what you look for, not only off your 9 but off the bench. He's been outstanding.
George Flanagan receives a hero's welcome. The clock has reached 80 minutes. Greg McNally down there on the touchline, giving him high fives, smothering him with the wet towel. And Dane Chisholm has the formality of adding on the extra 2 from in front to the post. This to take the Bulls out to a 20-point lead here. The scoreline might flatter the Bulls ever so slightly in the end scheme of things, because Hunslet have made the Bulls work incredibly hard. But on Bulls Live and proper sport, it is Hunslet 16, the Bradford Bulls 36, and ahead of that massive game next Sunday against the York City Knights at Hunslet, the Bulls are going to reassert their 2-point lead.
Yeah, I got into the game there, I think George done well this afternoon since he came on. But interesting that, it's like the previous try that he got the ruck speed. Keys took a quick 20 metre, then Ethan's cut inside and made some good yards. And do you know what? We've gone 80 metres in 3 plays, and that's what the problems that it causes when you do that. Unfortunately, they haven't managed to do it on a regular basis this afternoon. But sorry, Mick, there's a penalty there for something.
Well, Steve Crossley's just put a bit of a fend in on Foggy Johnston. So the penalty count evened up at 8 penalties apiece. And the latest score in the Cumbrian Derby, Workington 4, Whitehaven 10, and Coventry Bears fresh after their victory against the London Scholars. They're leading Hemel by 10 points to 6, and it's Doncaster 98, West Wales Raiders 6 at the Keepmoat. Hunslet here playing for pride, looking for a consolation, but a forward pass ruled by the referee Michael Smale, and the Bulls defence will stand firm. And they've restricted Hunslet, who've been scoring on average 28 points per game, to 16 this afternoon. Steve Proud says travelling up to Odsal from Oxfordshire to see the York game next week. John Lawler says Flanagan, the best Bulls performance in Fieldens in the World Club challenge fixture against the West Tigers in 2006. And Julie Lightower says, brilliant choice, Mick. Flanagan, a deserved man of the match. Well, I must admit, very rare. I'll take control, but I think on this occasion, George Flanagan deserves all the plaudits. We're now into the 2nd minute of time added on here. Chisholm trying to cut through. 5 metres inside the Hunslet half. Allison at dummy half. Comes short side to Garside. Garside wrapped up by Straffer and Madudu, but Garside still going forward. 2 tackles remaining here for John Keir's side. It's been a vintage second half performance as Peltier fronts up and gets the legs moving. You've got to go for the legs. Go for the legs. Tackle number 4. Hallis out of dummy half. Hallis, can he offload the ball? Watson and Madudu wrap him up, and that will be the last tackle. Bradford leading by 36 points to 16, a lead of 20. Crossley in at dummy half, to Keys, to Minnie. Minnie can't get the ball, but they've trapped Hunslet dead in goal. It's a second goal line dropout of the afternoon, although the referee is now going to say the Hunslet player, James Watson, actually took it on the full, and James Watson has to tap the ball in the correct position of the field, which is centre field between the black dots underneath the posts, running parallel, and Foggin Johnson's on tackle number 0. 7 tackles set then coming up for Hunslet in the closing embers of this one. Here goes Daly Williams. Williams is going to be brought down on the halfway line. We've still not had the crowd announced this afternoon, but we suspect it's going to be Hunslet's biggest crowd for many a year, as Hallamshaw will find Coventry. Coventry's brought down, 35 out from the Bradford line, centre of the field. It's going to go to Sanderson. Sanderson to Haley. Haley's brought down there by Chisholm, Garside, Alice and Oakes. Look at this tenacious Bradford Bulls defence, full of dexterity. They don't want Hunslet to post any more points. Southern Wood, once upon a time in the Bulls, floats it out wide to Liam Mackay. The hooter sounds, and that will bring a halt to proceedings, because full time here, Betfred League 1, round 17. It has finished Hunslet 16, the Bradford Bulls 36, and that consecutive league winning streak will go out to 12 games, and not since 1997 have the Bulls won 12 in a row. John Keys, your thoughts on that performance?
A bit scrappy. I think there's a few too many errors to my liking. We kicked the ball on the full 4 times in that game. We won't be able to do that next Sunday. But again, came back through the tough part of the game, won by 20 points, and as I say every week, 2 more points on the end column, and that's all we've got to keep doing. Roll on to next Sunday. I think efficiency-wise, well, for me, the one thing that was a bit different second half was when we speeded the ruck play up, we scored a few tries off the back of it. And I think that's what we need to do. We get dragged into a battle with some of these teams, and what we need to do is do what we're good at, and that's quick ruck speed, which gives us and allows us the space to play. I agree with you, man of the match for George. Thought Matt Garside was immense again today. Elliot Minchella works all the time. Great to see Greg back out on the field, complete about 65 minutes. So all in all, pretty good performance, and like I said, 2 more points on the end column.
And just finally, John, the performance of Matt Garside, it's so easy to get caught up in the emotion of returning to your former club. I mean, let's not forget, George Flanagan actually started the season here under Gary Thornton and Hunslet, but he's come here, and oh boy, that experience, that know-how, that leadership, that guile was vital in that second half, especially after Hunslet had just narrowed the gap to just 2 points at 18 points to 16 with Dean Straffer scoring.
Yeah, absolutely, but that's what you sign these blokes for, isn't it? And I think there's a real good mixture of experience and youth in this team, and I think that's why it's working so well, if I'm honest. You got a few of the young lads